back to another video. In this video, I want to talk about how I achieved a score of 8.5 for my IELTS speaking test. So I know this will sound very cliche, but the one thing I would like to tell you again and again will be practice. Practice a lot for your speaking test. Practice for these 4 criteria because the examiner will give you scores based on these 4 criteria, which is, first one is fluency and coherence. So this means that how much you are able to talk at a natural rate. And the second is grammar. The examiner will want to see that you are talking in a perfect grammar, all your sentences have the perfect grammar structure and everything. And the third one is vocabulary. So when you're speaking on your speaking test with your examiner, you don't want to use the same words again and again. So what I would ask you to do is you need to, stock up on your vocabulary words, get a dictionary, study some new words. That way, if you use different kind of words when you're talking for your speaking test, the examiner might be impressed and give you a good score. Pronunciation. So here the pronunciation has nothing to do with accent. Whatever accent you have, it's fine. The important thing is that your pronunciation is very nice and clear. That's what matters. So on this second slide, I want to talk about that you need to do well for your speaking test. You need to get used to speaking English. To do that, I would recommend you to watch English movies and English commentaries on your, say, favorite video game or favorite cricket game or any football game, anything, so that you can observe different people and characters, how they speak English so naturally. You can observe their annotations, the little things they do and speak, so that when you're practicing the speaking by yourself or with a friend, you can remember them and mimic them up to some extent. And that way your speaking will be more natural. So the tips for your speaking test. The tips I have to prepare for your speaking test is do not cram. Do not cram for your test. Do not memorize, because if you do that, on the day of your speaking test, you might get nervous and you might forget everything you memorized. So I don't recommend doing that. And also, if you memorized your answers for the speaking test, you might sound like a robot when you speak. So don't do that. Instead, gather ideas. First, get to know what kind of questions they might ask you in the speaking test, and then gather your thoughts according to that, and also speak from your experience. So the second tip I'm going to talk about is be relaxed and confident. The more relaxed and more confident you are, the more likely for you to make a good impression and get a good score on your speaking test. That way you will not be nervous, and you're guaranteed to get a better score in a speaking test. The third tip is speak from your heart. This tip means that you have to speak about your experiences. You don't need to lie all about your experiences. For example, maybe the examiner asked you about your visit to a museum, and if you went to a museum, you can recall that experience and talk about it. But if you never went to a museum, you can say like, oh, I have this museum I always wanted to go because this. That will really help you. Because the examiner don't really care about your ideas. They will want to see what knowledge you have. So keep that in mind. So I also have some additional tips for you. So the additional tip is visit YouTube YouTube is a great way to prepare for your speaking test. What I did was few days before my speaking test exams, I would look up speaking test videos on YouTube with a band 8 or 9, and from that I gathered their experiences and constructed my thoughts and ideas on speaking test accordingly. Number 2 is have some interesting answers up your sleeve. This means that the examiner has to interview a lot of candidates, right? So for the examiner, conducting a speaking test might get boring. So it's not recommended, but if you want to keep some interesting answers up your sleeve, it's totally up to you. When you say those answers on the speaking test, it might interest your examiner, and you never know, you might get a good score out of it. And the last tip from me is enjoy your chat with the examiner. So while you're giving your speaking test, just be in the moment and do not overthink. Just enjoy chatting with your examiner. That's it. But if you're really nervous for your speaking test, I would recommend you to let Raihan Study Tech Center guide you, because in Raihan Study Tech Center we conduct a lot of group speaking sessions, which will really help you. We provide materials for your speaking test. We will provide you everything you need to excel at your speaking test, and we guarantee a band score of 7 and above for your IELTS, or if you want to study for your IELTS speaking test in particular, for that too. So that's it for this video. That's all I'm going to say. So have a great day, and thank you so much.